In today's video, we are going to discuss about finances and abundance mindset. It has been quite a journey since I moved to Germany, and I want to share with you my top things that I learned in this shift and how I managed to multiply a couple of times my income in just 1 year. So stay tuned and let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Miruna and this is my spiritual lifestyle show. 1 year ago, I never thought that I would make this kind of video because abundance, spoiler alert, was and maybe is still one of the things that I'm struggling the most to change in terms of mindset. So I actually manifested so many things and my confidence in myself and in this universe has grown like multiple times. However, the finance area, the abundance area was always the one that was my biggest struggle. But I'm changing the story. And before I actually start to tell you the most important lessons that I learned during the last year, I want to put here a disclaimer that I'm not going to give anyone financial advices because I am not certified in this. It's just my own experience and it's more like an abundance mindset video that I want to share with you, in the hopes that it will help you. To give you a little bit of background story, when I came here to Germany, in the first month I was probably living with around 200-300 euros per month to survive in Germany, and it was a very stressful period for me. Although I knew it was temporary, it was a very shifting moment from one career to the other, and usually when you are in this kind of a position, your energy is all over the place. And of course my income was fluctuating a lot as my energy was not focused on anything or not so much. Of course things didn't stay like this for long. It was just like 1, 2, 3 months maybe that it was like this bad, but it was enough to teach me a lesson. I was not used for most of my life to see money as energy, but mostly as a paper that gives you power or doesn't give you power. And that was my view until a couple of years ago when I started to be more into personal development and I started to understand that money is actually energy and the money responds to your energy. So if you're in an energy of abundance, of enjoying spending money, of enjoying earning money, the money will come to you. If you're in the mindset of I fear money, I feel a lot of regret and shame and frustration around money, then money will not come to you. And this was mostly my vibration for most of the time in the last year. It was a lot of frustration due to the environment that I grew up in. If you're from Eastern Europe or like other countries that don't have such a good economical situation, it's not just the economical situation that influences you, it's also the mindset, the mentality of the people around you. What I actually grew up surrounded with was that money is always very hard to earn, it's very limited, it's never abundant, you have this money but tomorrow you won't have it, and mostly that people that have a lot of money have done something shady or they have to pay a lot of taxes. This kind of instilled in my head the idea that money is hard to make, it's not easy to keep, it's very limited, and that being rich, being abundant means that you will also lose it in a way or another. Correlated to my story with moving to Germany, I came from a country where the average salary was around maybe 700 euros per month to a country where the average salary is maybe around 2,000, 3,000 euros per month. And my first notice was how different people spend money here compared to Romania, to where I came from. The easiest example that I can give in regards to spending, it's, let's say you want to travel somewhere, you want to travel to the USA. So here, for someone living in Germany, they would probably need to save some money for like 3 or 4 months out of their salary to actually go there. The flights are cheaper, of course, and they have a much higher salary. How they see the prices is very different compared to someone who only earns 700 euros per month. And in comparison, someone in Romania would have to probably save for a much longer period of time to afford the same thing. This is something that I kind of came into contact with a lot in the last month, and it made me rethink all the beliefs I had. It was very clear from the beginning that it would be a very transformational year, and still is a very transformational time for me, to ditch all those old beliefs and to create new ones for a new life that I want to have. So here is the first lesson that I do encourage you to do. This is an exercise that I did with myself so many times over the last year. I would start to write affirmations about money. I kept always a journal, and I was always keeping myself accountable, and I was always writing about my journey and what I was learning and what I was willing to give up and leave behind me. And here's this exercise when you would just write money is, and write for a couple of minutes, 3-5 minutes, everything that comes up. Everything. Maybe after 1-2 minutes you will have a page filled with things that money is this and this and this and this and this, and you feel like stopping. Keep going until the end of your set time and see what else comes up. Usually those things, after you feel like you cannot come up with anything else, are the things that you have to put there and are the things that you have to work on. After you identify your main blocks, what I did as a next step was to apply a forgiveness method, which is coming from the Hawaiian method Ho'oponopono, in which you simply take all those beliefs that you have and you just say, I love you, please forgive me, I'm sorry, thank you. This is very powerful, and this was the method that I used so much, together with tapping as an exercise to reprogram my subconscious mind and to basically find forgiveness for all the people that I learned all these behaviors from. It was mostly my family, because we are so heavily influenced by the people around us. And it was a lot of forgiveness that I had to do on the older generations in my family. So for example, my grandma was always the one saying that money is so hard to make, that life is so hard, that everything you have is taken away, because she lived in the moments of communism. She lived in the moments when she had absolutely nothing and she was struggling by herself to raise two children. Of course, these beliefs were also given to me. And spoiler alert, most of the things that you know about money, it's not from you, it's from what you heard around you from the place. The second abundance principle that you have to keep in mind is the people that you surround with. I love this quote by Jim Rohn, and I swear I live by it. You are the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself most. And this applies to everything, from health choices, from mindset to finances and abundances. I want you to do this exercise. I did it as well. And to look right now and think about who are the 5 people that you spend most of your time with. Maybe not just family if you live with them, of course, but like friends, colleagues, who is always there with you. And think about, in terms of finances, how much do they earn and how much do you earn? That you probably all have on average kind of the same earnings. So this is something that I actually did in order to multiply my income. From the very first day that I came to Germany, I decided to look to expand my network and to meet people who are having high earnings, because they have a different mindset, and I was always seeking to spend time with people that were always better than me. If I were to spend my time with people that were earning as much as me back then, like 200 or 300 euros per month, I would have probably stayed at the same level. But when you're always surrounded by people who are better than you, they will always like push you to go further, to go further, to go further. The third abundance principle is to learn to create a budget and to actually stick to it and to apply it. I was reading a lot of books about mindset, about money, about abundance, but I was actually never applying it 100%. This was the year when I tried to stick with the budget, maybe because I was also limited in the beginning by the circumstances, but I also started to spread my money with different directions and different intentions. So for savings, that I will not call savings, but maybe like fun or independence fund, for vacation, for something that was necessary, for something that I wanted. And I encourage you to do the same. This is something that I learned, that money comes to you when you are disciplined, when you know exactly what you want to do with them. If you just want money for the sake of having money, it's probably never going to happen. However, if you put an intention behind what you want to do with the money, that's going to attract the circumstances to actually create more money. An interesting exercise that I did in this sense, it was to create like an ideal budget, ideal spendings that I want to do. So I put all the activities, all the wants, all the needs that I wanted to do every single month. And I had an idea of the budget that I would need to have in order to live this kind of lifestyle. And to be honest, I'm not quite there yet, but I am very close. And this gives me a lot of confidence and a lot of excitement to create even more. And of course, once you match that lifestyle, I encourage you to go a little bit higher and to not stop there and to create an even much luxurious, much exclusive lifestyle that you can live. Come up with something else, because the essence of life is growth. And if you stop growing, you'll stop evolving. The last thing that I want to share with you, and by the way, you can also check in the description, because I will leave you a list of my favorite books that I read and reread to help me increase my abundance mindset. But the last thing I want to share with you is to create a new identity around money. If you were the one who was never making economies, who was never saving money, if you're the one who was always overspending, think about who you want to be from now on. I got really tired at some point of always thinking money is so hard. I got really tired at some point of being always the one who could never save some money, or who could never have this independence fund for something, or could never be the one who had money to invest in something that I liked or wanted. And this is probably one of the things that really made a difference, because I actually started to think who I want to be, how I want this new person, this new Miruna to be with the new abundance mindset. And in order to become this person, there were daily actions, there were daily things that I was doing. It was a lot of reading, a lot of affirmations, repeating all those things, replacing the old beliefs. If I was catching myself saying, oh, it's so hard to make money, I was immediately changing it and shifting it with, no, it's easy to make money. I see people around me who make like 3,000 euros, 4,000 euros, 5,000 euros. And I was looking for confirmation in my surroundings. It's actually a constant work that you have to do, but it's so rewarding. You're not going to change your mindset in just 1 week. You're not going to change your mindset in 1 month or 2 months. It's actually a work that you always have to do with yourself, and use everything that can help you. I cannot pinpoint and just one thing that made the biggest difference. It was, yes, a lot of books. Probably one of my favorite was Get Rich Lucky Bitch by Denise, Duffield Thomas. She's one of my favorites, and I reread this book a couple of times during the last year. It was podcasts that I started to listen of people who were talking very easily, very in alignment with the energy of having money, with a lot of pleasure and a lot of forgiveness, of course. I did tapping, as I said, I did the Ho'oponopono technique. There are so many techniques, there are so many resources, materials, coaches that we can work with. You have to find what works for yourself in order to do these changes and to create this new identity. So guys, let me know in a comment if you want to change your money mindset in 2020. Let me know if these advices and my story has helped you make some clicks, realize there, get some insights, what you can change, what you can do differently in this year. I will probably do a couple of more videos in the future also about this topic, because it's something that I'm more and more passionate about, and it's something that has taken me so long to change, and I really want to help people get over this as fast as possible. Don't forget my favorite motto about everything, and even in regards to finances, it was to say that changing my mindset and having money, it's easier. It's easier than you think. If you always say it's complicated, it's hard, it's always going to be like this. So try to do this simple shift and let me know how it makes you feel by just doing it a couple of days, 1 week. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and see you next time with a video.